home and talked to Mom and said, I'm actually going to move into a house with my friends from the jazz. And it's nothing personal, but I am 26 years old. I've not only graduated from the doctor, I've had 1 year's experience as an intern in the regional hospital in Galway. And they're wondering if I'm still in diapers. And I think if I didn't make the move then, she'd probably bring me home and tuck me into bed tonight. So that was in the long term. We moved into a place called Ronan's Close, and I kept her updated as she dealt with the idea of with laundry, sorry. And with the idea, but I didn't tell her about all of the parties that we had. Actually, one of the reasons to move to Ronan's Close was not so much that I needed to advance in adulthood, but the stairs were getting a lot older and not as stable, because I had practiced the art when I was in college about avoiding the third step. A little after midnight, and for some reason when I hit that step, it seemed to trigger off a little buzzer beside Dad's ear and welcomed me 24/7. But none of those parties that we had in Ronan's Close can equal the great festivities that my sister Orla put on today. And I had to change my relationship just so she would get this experience from true love with the older sibling to tough love. So when she asked for help, I said, I'm sure that you can do it all. Speaking and thinking of childhood memories, there's been a lot of talk and photographs even in the brief few hours that we've been here. When asked to think about times when we were back in America and started, maybe it's just my selective memory, but the picture that stands out in my mind is Dad with the football and me in swaddling clothes, and the obstetrician has barely cut the umbilical cord and he's presenting it to me. So I guess I learned now that that aspect of my life was predestined. So if you're wondering why I'm still trying to play in the Old Men's Soccer League and will be expected to continue in that, so I'll call out that would be the case. And for Dad, it's been, as a father, just a wonderful experience. And as I go and have been in many different parts of the world, think about that he has always been there for me. And that was something that, as we go through these times of moving and economic, the units of love that he's given us far exceeds any units of currency which you can see are devalued in the current world. They're in a very supportive and non-judgmental way. I must say if unconditional love was to be defined, that would be it. That has really kept me going, and as a role as a parent to pass on to more, I think, Katie through the years. I mean, I really think when I'm representing family, I think of the many students that Dad mentored and who were so grateful and came to me. I guess looking at now, he had practiced on trying to academically tutor me, and those students that he helped out were a problem, but they were less of a problem. That's what I can't think of well enough. But Dad, to be honest, you know, I think the phrase, behind every good man there's a great woman, was the day Mom was born. And being so supportive and loving. I could think of many things. But since it's your 50th wedding anniversary, I'm not in that over 50 age group yet, so you know, other problems ahead, but I think of one thing that I had, and it's something that I actually received about 2 months ago. Mom told me she's written here she would kill me if I brought it up. But it's okay. I have a flight to America. And if I need to do it sooner, Jim Callery has a car out the back and we'll contact Van family. Now, for those of you who are 45 years or younger, you will not recognize this, but this is actually who grew up in the internet and the cyber text and the Twitter. This is actually a letter. With butter. The best song. So, in 1989, went to America to pursue a career in neurology. And yes, here it is. It's an actual archive now. It's actually 6 pages. It did take 6 months, and it was triggered that it came in February, just after her birthday. So it's not a guilt trip. It says, "Mom, I'm here at last. I was thinking she wouldn't hope it took 8 months to fly across the Atlantic." The first Dear Mom letter, maybe it's better frame it. Better late than never. And I won't read you what's in between because I did make some promises to. And she said, "Keep in touch," which was kind of passive aggressive. "You're supposed to write to me." She kept her part of the bargain. And I tried to keep mine. But as I read this over, Brian, the time when I was supposed to bring out the Kleenex, wasn't supposed to do this. But how much I missed her. And even now, as I read it last week, when she sent me this letter back 20 years later, how much I still miss her even more. Mom is making that in the Guinness Book of Records, and the reason that what she did well this time is why I recognize it, because of the unrecognizable handwriting. And she's in the Guinness Book of Records here for the most. The paper industry still does well from her because she likes the written letter. And I must say, of all the things I get, this is the most cherished thing I look forward to, since I'm receiving it every 20 years. And she returned this letter to me, wondering when my part of the bargain was coming through. Mom, I must say that the time when I left, there are many memories, but one memory was the hug that we had when I left Coach Stephen. And despite many different awards over the years, there's nothing compared to that. Well, Orla had coached me that despite my education here and abroad, the O'Donnells never learned the word, just a few words. They coached me during the year, and hopefully I stayed within the things. And I could say, I think a few words for Mom and Dad, Dan and Pam, would not be to them justice, but I'm staying within the limits of my darling younger sister. How to finish? There will be no finish, and hopefully we'll continue on with celebrations, but I was thinking 2 things I wanted to say. Oh, in reference to the letter for the future, to my darling daughters, when I say keep in touch, Dad, we text you, and it's like, would you like to read this? That's not a. But when Granny calls, not so much to find out about her darling Cormac, but about her grandchildren, that pertains to Brian's kids and Siobhan's kids. And Maura and Katie get off the phone and they say, "Maura, what's the last thing Granny said?" And she says, "God bless." And Katie turns and says, "And what did she say to you the last thing?" "God bless." So I say to you, God bless Mom, God bless Dad, and thank you God for us for having them, and God bless you all for coming.